backstage, and they're very interesting. And I just had a privileged peek even into portions of what Kweku suggests can be explosive, and I can suggest that if those circulars are authentic, it can be very explosive, because it suggests that the president at the time was dribbled in all of this business. So I'm sure certainly you can't suppress some of this information. They'll come forward. This message, please, I take responsibility for the comments I'm making.
No, I'm saying it's not fair. I am taking responsibility
for my comments.
What's the guarantee that what
please, can you allow me?
Is factual?
I have not looked at what Kweku has. I've looked at from other sources. Please leave me alone. This is imagine traveling on an all-expense-paid trip to Rio to watch the football matches live. All you have to do is to show your boldness by using your MTN number and stand a chance to win bowler prizes like a sleek Kia Rio, smartphones, flat screen TVs, and other amazing prizes. So go on, keep talking, keep texting, and keep browsing, and win bowler. And with MTN Go Rio, dial *120# to check your scores now. Welcome to the new world. MTN, everywhere you go. And Star Assurance is repeating its commitment to you that it is dedicated to continue to offer you cutting-edge insurance policies that give you peace of mind and power to achieve your set goals. They work to protect your properties and businesses when the expected happens. So they have branches located all over the country, and all you need to do is to contact them 0302-240-632 or visit starassurance.com. Star Assurance, that is your CIMG insurance company of the year 2012, and that's your solid partner. Errata Motors has the best in vehicles deals that you would need. All you need is to just contact them. Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, Infiniti, Range Rover, you name it. Errata Motors has them all. And you just need to go to Errata Motors at Lagos Avenue opposite Body Talk near GT Bank, East Legon, or call them 0244445268 or 0277486800. Errata Motors, the best vehicles at the best prices. Sasso insecticide mosquito spray is also proud to be associated with Newsfile. Sasso, kum ntontom Preco. And of course, as always, my outfit is provided by Latida. Visit Latida's Facebook page, that is Latida Gallery, and like their page and see what stuff they have out there. Now I'm privileged to have on the line Ace Anan Ankoma. He is a lawyer with Benchi Enchel and Co., and that is a law firm that's being referred to by some of my guests on this show. Ace, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on this show.
Good morning. I received your call. Yes, how may I help you?
Thank you. We just wanted you to clarify one thing, that I have it on authority that you do not have a video conferencing facility at your place. And again, can you confirm that if you were ever involved in this particular evidence taking, how it was done? What do you know? What can you share with us, please?
Samson, the firm where the lawyer, or have been the lawyer for Bank Switch in this matter, I have personally conducted this case from the Ghana angle of it. It's important to understand that evidentiary hearings were scheduled, and at evidentiary hearings in international arbitration, depending on the rules of the arbitration, the arbitral body determines which of the potential witnesses it wants to question. In this particular case, it identified 3 persons that it wanted to question. Now, originally, we were hoping to do a video conference. In the midst of the video conference, and I can see that you have a copy of the arbitral award.
Yes.
You see that in leading the evidentiary hearing, the government intimated that it wanted to settle. Discussions, settlement meetings were held. A draft award was drawn up. Now, if you look at the dates very carefully, the evidentiary hearings were supposed to start on 14th January 2013. It was on 15th January 2013 that the Solicitor General wrote that they needed some authority, etc., to file the agreement, and asked for an adjournment of the evidentiary hearing to the next day, which was the 16th of January 2013. When that happened, we no longer, I mean, we don't have the video conference facilities. We'll be happy if the world thought we did, but we don't have it.
Okay.
And so, because of the postponement, the scheduled video conferencing couldn't happen. So the tribunal questioned our witness, 2 of them, by telephone conference, and it wasn't from my office. It was by telephone conference, and I think one of the witnesses also testified in person.
All right.
But particularly with Dr. Akuto Osei and then Mr. Owusu, it was via telephone conference then. And since you have the award in front of you, you can look at paragraph 4.76.
You're right.
Which talks about the exact time and the date that the tribunal reopened the evidentiary hearing. And so, although we had arranged, once again, video conferences from another site, not from the office, that got kind of muddled because of the attempt at settlement and the request by the government for a postponement. And so the questioning of the witnesses was done by telephone and not in my office for video conferencing, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. That's all the point we wanted you to speak to. Just hold on 1 minute. What's the question you want to ask?
No, not him. I just want to make one.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Samson.
Samson, you don't need. You need even an iPad. Oh, please. You need an iPad to even do. Hold on.
So what you want to say?
Can I finish?
What you want to say?
I haven't said anything yet. So you can't tell me what I want to say.
Okay, you say you need an iPad.
I'm saying that you don't need to have a video conference setup. Even an iPad, you can use it to do.
Okay, he has gone forward to say that video conferencing was not done.
Please let me also finish. The bottom line is not about whether
you came and
hold on. It's not about whether can I finish? I haven't. The bottom line is not about whether video conferencing or telephone. The bottom line is the fact that they ask you questions pertaining to what you were supposed to have said.
And
then you created the impression
but
that was not the video conference was done and he knows.
You made a hell of a deal with the video conference.
That is not why it came about. I'm saying that the video conference was done. I'm saying it and I was saying it with all authority.
Mutala,
what are you expecting to say? That is lawyer on this issue.
Mutala. Do I have a lawyer?
No, I mean he's been pursuing. Sorry, he's been pursuing that case and he has indicated.
I never saw a
I'm saying, it's not about saying he's a lawyer for Bank Switch, and he himself has indicated. He himself has indicated.
You have a problem with that?
Hold on. And if he testified in favor of Bank Switch against Ghana, what do you expect? He testified against this country for Bank Switch. That was not
okay. I'll let the public
judge what?
You've been completely exposed.
Expose what? Expose what? There was a video conference.
Do you know? You are still insisting on a video conference. You don't want to rely on the facts as are borne out by the record.
Hold on.
Wait.
Something. I made that statement. Okay.
Do you know that if I am lawyer in a certain matter and the tribunal decides that it wants to call a certain witness, I have a right to cross-examine that witness?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Mutala, we have only 30 minutes to finish with all of the discussion we have on this show.
See what happens when you try to lie.
Okay.
Did you do video conference or did it?
Gentlemen.
He just told you.
Gentlemen.
Well, that's right. I'm saying you did it.
Now I want to get.
You go on.
I want to hear you all just 2 minutes each to wrap up this conversation.
Okay.
Kweku, Mutala is suggesting that this is not going to be the end of it. Obviously, government will go forward to mount a certain challenge to ensure that this amount is not the amount that will be paid.
Can I correct?
Oh, please.
Oh, no.
Mutala, everything you have said that I have sought to paraphrase or repeat, you have sought to correct me. We will not make any progress.
The question you want to ask. I didn't say that it's not amount. I said when you do the calculation of the 25%.
I haven't said anything that's against what you have said.
No, I'm not saying you have. It's important when you are putting the question to him, you put it to him correctly. That's the point I'm making.
Thank you. From the facts as you know them so far, what do you say about that? That is good for us, isn't it? Because as far as we know also, it is irrespective of my reading of this judgment, irrespective of the lousy attitude, that was put up by our side, you still can give the Attorney General some credence for having mounted, such a fight that got us a lesser amount.
Well, that theory, I've heard it many times. And sometimes I find it a bit intriguing. This Attorney General, I've had the opportunity of praising her twice on some sweater and socks and some other thing. One has to be honest. If you recall, I was very cynical I sent a text even whilst I was in the U.S.
In those cases, she rolled up her sleeves and got in the game herself.
I said she was the Achilles heel of the system and all that. I've subsequently have to review a bit. I think she's proving her mettle to that extent. So in principle, I don't think she's done very badly at all. But the idea that when people go for arbitration, you see, they start, everybody signs the stakes high,
right,
knowing that you won't get all. And you go and litigate, and we're going to pay $73 million, and
74.
Yes, and we are supposed to clap for that. No, we're not going to clap for that. That abrogation without reference to due process, it's the key that has led to this 73 or so million, and it's documented here. So I find it difficult to do that kind of analysis and said, oh, at least we're going to pay 100 million, now we are paying 73, so let's clap. I'm not about to do that. This recklessness that comes with this unwarranted abrogation, especially when they are driven by partisan considerations, suspicions, a multitude of suspicions became a substitute for facts and evidence that this is it, so let's go for it. That I'm not about to in any way rationalize.
Right.
So to be honest, bottom line, and more, anyway, I won't go there.
Our courts have said that a multitude of suspicions do not make a fact. Now, Ebi, I don't know if you subscribe to what Kuku is suggesting, that all of these suspicions and matters, and I give you a hint that per what I know, it sounds as if even the president himself, President Mills at the time, was dribbled. People hid things, they didn't make them clear. And now we have judgment that commissions that are supposed to go into all of these matters. Sometimes, I personally have problems with the approach of maybe national security and so the excesses that they commit. But reading this judgment, I had a feeling that this is what you should be handing over to national security. Let them use their tough tactics and get people to answer questions. And if need be, they should face criminal charges.
This issue of the president being dribbled has not been born out of the facts. Indeed, you said we should limit our discussions to the facts.
Please proceed.
So if you are dribbling from somewhere, I think I have to check you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's a good one.
You see, bottom line, there are remote causes and there are immediate causes. I hate the situation where we zero in on the immediate causes and leave the remote causes. So, Kwokut landed on the immediate causes. But now who caused them where we get to the immediate cause? Now who caused them? So,
when you had the opportunity to have cured the
issue, as public servants, we must stay on, and I want Akoto to do same. You see, I'm ignoring him. Akoto, when he's so doing, do same, so that we can go on. You see? So, you notice that we do not abide by our laws. Now, I do not want to agree to suggestions that if the Attorney General okays something legally, then it means that it is the truth or the gospel truth. Look, there is only one institution that interprets our laws, and that's the judiciary. So the Attorney General's opinions remain opinions.
What would be the effect of that on the proceedings?
And in the Balkan case, the Supreme Court was emphatic. It said the Attorney General's certification of the agreement as valid was critical.
So what was the effect on the proceedings?
You know that if the Supreme Court wanted to use the word valid, it would have used it. And that's why they watered it down
to critical.
Okay.
The Supreme Court is aware that they can't say valid. That's why they watered it down to critical.
Thank you. You were suggesting that if we have to discuss the future of managing this debt.
But before I go there, let me give. I was going to give you some additional information.
But I'm holding you now.
When you do that,
it will be quick. Yeah. On this matter of evidence that was given,
right?
The issue, one of the questions, I don't have the entire transcript. One of the questions that the chairman asked me, that at the time I was signing it, did the issue of parliamentary approval came? And I said, our legal people did not tell me so. So that was addressed.
Okay. Proceed to your future, the advice you were seeking to give, how to manage the situation.
We should be careful when, instead of doing work for Ghana, we start thinking about political equalization. That's a lesson we must learn. Two, going forward, government of Ghana
I'm convinced, I'm still convinced that this project is a good one. It will help, especially in these hard times where we don't have money. So it should pursue it. But Bank Switch wants to work. It did not invest $43 million as we know it for Professor Mills to visit. He even visited their premises physically. So who advised him to go and visit?
I'm saying that the amount is that something we can do?
So when he visits it,
yes,
it means
that's what I'm coming to. Because Bank Switch, in my opinion, is a business that wants to work. Part of the award relates to losses.
Okay.
So I think that if the government believes that it can generate revenue, then they should be able to negotiate. Because I think if I were Bank Switch, I want to have work rather than fold up completely. It doesn't help me.
So they should negotiate what?
They should negotiate the amount and see how it can be a win-win.
There's no option. It's a zero option.
You mean the amount is subject to negotiation?
No, I'm saying
no. But look, what he's saying is that after judgment, you can still negotiate with the judgment.
Zero option.
So that both of
we
them
have no option.
Okay. Because government needs the revenue.
All right, thank you.
What is zero?
Zero option.
Mutala, yep. You gave an indication of discussions ongoing, probably to seek to find a way of making sure that we mitigate how much we have to pay. Really,
he was speculating.
First and foremost, I said that if you look at the total amount of money that is being put out there as judgment, particularly by section of the media.
It's not section of the media. Is there award? Can I finish? Yeah, go on.
I'm saying that is put out there. You see, I'll not finish, then you interject.
No, you say section of the media, and I'm telling you the
finish. You know, when you do this, then you tell me that I don't speak to the issue. If it's what is being put out there without indicating that there is a 25% corporate income tax that ought to be calculated on the total amount of money, naturally, you can't just put 197 million out there.
I see.
You would have indicated that 197 million, excluding corporate income tax, which has not been calculated. When you calculate it, it will certainly...
What you are saying doesn't change the fact of the payment.
Oh, please, yes, it will change it. That's the point.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
It changes the amount of money that will...
But there's still some more cost to be awarded. No, I'm just giving information.
I don't need it.
This one.
I don't need that information.
It's okay.
And two, this attempt for Izan Kuma to call, it doesn't tell you.
Izan Kuma didn't call.
I
called him.
I'm saying that this attempt to call him doesn't change anything. The bottom line, it doesn't. It doesn't.
What?
It doesn't. Can I finish?
When he brought clarity.
What clarity?
Truth.
What clarity? The bottom line is that he has indicated that it wasn't. He said that it wasn't a video conference call. It was a telephone conference call, and said that they were to organize a video conference call, which didn't happen.
Yes.
I'm saying that as far as I'm concerned, the statement was made about what Dr. Akoto did. And I'm saying, please.
Is that why we agree?
Please. Cool.
You have conversed this point already.
So listen.
Please.
It's okay.
Can I finish? The bottom line is people signed contract without regard to what the Constitution itself says. And if Kweku wants to find out where the recklessness began, in fact, the most serious recklessness was the fact that people disregarded what our law says, signed contract without even going, and Dr. Akoto is saying that when they asked him, hold on, please, Dr. Akoto is saying that when they asked him, he said that their legal division, Dr. Akoto was a member of parliament, and most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, served in the finance committee. So if there was anybody who should have known, Dr. Akoto would have known.
207, a minister, I can't serve in the finance committee.
Please.
You see, but keep telling lies.
Okay, we end there. Sorry.
You are a minister of state. You should have known.
Sorry.
So you can't tell us that you didn't know.
Still here on Newsfile. Still here on Newsfile. Coming to you live from our TV studios. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Right. Okay. You see, we've got very limited time, really. I'm hoping that we can deal with the other matters later. Can we look briefly at the questioning of the Energy Ministry and the signature matter that came up? You are more interested in the NPP one.
That's what we have here.
And I'm telling you, this is also part of the discussion, isn't it? It's part of the discussion. Now, if you are aware, it has come to the public that. No, I don't know what you're getting. Okay.
I beg you. Yeah. I beg you, leave me alone.
Yeah, but I have a discretion to exercise on this show. Thank you. The officials of the Canadian oil firm have been arrested, and they have been arrested over signature fraud. They are said to have, as it were, fraudulently or forged the signature of the Minister of Energy. Wow. And also use the letterhead of the ministry to make various representations leading to a lot of profits that has come to them, and that matter is supposed to go under investigations, criminal process. Because we have very limited time, I want you guys to deal with it briefly, and we'll go. I'll start with you, Murtala, on this issue.
Well, I think that one good thing about it is that it's sad, it's unfortunate. It also tells you that, yes, the security agencies are working. I mean, you should expect some of these things to happen, that at any point in time, you find people who engage in that. I'll give you a classical example that involves myself. I was on a program sometime last 2 weeks when I got a call from my secretary that a company called at the Ministry of Information to find out whether we have actually written a letter, you know, recommending a particular group to some investors. So when they asked me, and in fact it was my boss's secretary, so when she asked me, I said, I'm not aware of any letter, and ideally if such a letter should be written, it should be written by my boss. I don't think that, except that he asked me to do so. And I then said, okay, then he should call that company so that they can fax the letter that was written to them, because they said that I signed the letter. When they faxed the letter, they realized that the signature was completely different from my signature. So what we then did was that maybe I shouldn't be putting some of this information. We then said, okay, this is a matter that we must refer to the security agencies. And as I talked to you, the security agencies are on that matter. So you would expect some of these things to happen. But our ability to arrest those who are engaged in it, and it is more serious when you are dealing with a company that is foreign, if you look at the story, that they would have the audacity, the courage to do the kind of things they do. We can only commend the security agencies and urge them so that we can get to the bottom of it. How much have they made as a result of that forged letter, you know, at the expense of the state? And I think that it's critical we look at it.
Well, I don't have details on this. I realize that it's just broken, and your station has been my source of so I really don't know much. But there were two things. Is it a forged signature we are talking about, or a doctored letter? Both are bad. Don't make a mistake about that. But which is which? Because I was talking to somebody who appeared to be making some inroads in terms of investigations, a journalist as well. And he was telling me that what is at stake here is not the forgery of a signature of the minister, but appears to have a letter, some portions have been doctored and abused, used for some other purposes. Both are criminal, let's make no mistake about that. So I would want to wait to get more details. The important point is that there's a detection and an official commitment to investigate and you know, cure the mischief or punish any perpetrator of any misdeed. So thank God, that industry is a very delicate, sensitive place. You can get all sorts of rogues paraded, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that this Canadian group or their Ghanaian counterparts are rogues. I haven't said that. But that's a place that has a lot of attraction. All sorts of characters can go in there. We have to be eternally vigilant in terms of policing and monitoring the industry. But otherwise, at this stage, I'm going to exercise a lot of caution. I don't have the details, and I don't want to be judgmental.
When I heard it, I said, is it a case of abusing our friendly investment climate or atmosphere?
Right.
But again, some of these things are not the preserve of only foreign companies. Local companies do it. I am particularly impressed about what the communications director at Ministry of Information put out, that they are also doing a soul searching within to find out whether some of these problems have emanated within, and that they would, as it were, extensively investigate to know whether there are insiders who are also doing this thing. So for me, that is gratifying, that the government has not, or the ministry has not just left it to the security agencies alone, but it's roping in and trying to extend the space of investigation. So let's wait and see what will come out.
Yeah, the company in question here is reported to have also put out a statement suggesting that what the Ghanaian officials are talking about is inconsistent, that they are being inconsistent with.
But Samson, what do you expect? Because
and I'm saying, is it not going to be a bit difficult to prove the allegations we are putting on these people in court. And immediately, you are familiar with this case, it comes to my mind, the Zamrama versus Zegbeji, where Justice Kwega said that when a person full of age signs a contract, that is assuming that he signed the contract, his own signature raises a presumption of liability so strong that it requires very distinct and explicit averment, indeed, in order to subvert it. So I'm asking,
what we'll be seeing here in court is that this is not my signature.
Right.
That is what the Minister of Defense Energy will put out. In your case, it is a forgery. It's a forgery, yes. So I'm just telling you the defense to such a claim that this is not, the Latin terminology was non-something, something, something. This is not my signature. So when you're able to prove that, then clearly this will fall. But again, what do you expect? Even you catch people with fouls, they steal your foul, they say they didn't steal. So they will say the same.
So like you said, it's a defense he was going to refer to in Latin.
If you can remind me. Non
ex factum, something factum.
Yes.
It just forgot. It just escaped me. Go ahead.
Yes, very quickly. This is unfortunate, and because it's under investigations, I won't say a lot about it, but I want to give you an example of what happened when I was in the Ministry of Finance. One time we were getting one of our ministers, our own name, to send a letter to somebody. Now the draft of the letter was in the minister's office. He had not signed it, but the addressee called him that, look, why haven't you signed the letter?
Yeah, we say non-ex factum. Non-ex factum.
No, it hadn't been signed. But the addressee had a copy of the letter, so he was calling someone to say, the letter in front of you, why haven't you signed? The question is, how the letter get to him anyway? And so I had a policy. You know, you could have a signed stamp or original stamp. I never went for the stamp one.
Okay.
Because it can be forged easily. When you know that they can stamp it. So I always signed originally. The presidency happens. He has a stamped one and the original one. People use that too. So you have to be careful when you're a minister. Otherwise, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised, but what will be your suspicion immediately? Is entirely coming from outside?
No. It cannot be entirely from outside. There must be insiders because the letterhead belongs to the ministry.
But the letterhead too can also be fabricated.
I'm not saying that they cannot forge it, but the signature, if something happened, I mean. As Kweku said, we don't know the details because sometimes letters can be changed.
Both the letterhead and the signature can all be fabricated.
But signature is more difficult. The original one is very difficult. It's very difficult.
I see.
They have ways of catching you. Yes, it's very difficult.
All right. So what is your advice about the posture to dealing with this matter, especially that it concerns not a small oil entity, but
I think the investigators should take their time and do a thorough job so that we'll know. I'm sure there are several instances of this happening elsewhere.
Right.
But this is not good for us. If it turns out that an insider is involved, it will be a shame.
Okay. Thank you very much. And like I said, from the way I did my introduction of the issues, we had the NPP matter as a very final. Dr. Akutose, you were at the conference yourself. Is this now over now? Is now the way to a forward march to wrestle power from the NDC, so to speak?
Just like all the other elections we held, polling station, constituency, region, national, it's a sequence. So we have gone through this successfully and we are waiting for the next sequence.
There are signs that the mass slinging is going to continue even at a crescendo, and by the time you are done, you have bruised yourself so much that you have handed your opponents sufficient arsenal to just assail you.
I heard my colleague on TV saying that you've given us information, we will use it. That's what politics is about? Then, sorry for Ghana. I think that we'll get beyond that and go ahead.
What do you say of the composition of the new executive?
I think they're all hardworking people. I know all of them personally. And the issue, I mean, for me, that's what matters. These ideological things, people are going to speculate. At the end of the day, how best can we win election 26? That's what matters. And I think we will come along. This is one stage. We'll get to the next stage.
How do you come along with the crabology attitude, tearing each other apart, everybody pulling the other one?
I personally am against people who go on radio to talk about other people. If you want to talk for yourself, speak on your positives. But this matter, and it doesn't matter who says it. It is wrong. Whether it's I'm saying it, don't go on air to say negative things about. I have never done that in an election. I will never do that. So I urge them to stop and cease right away.
Ebi.
Yeah. What you mean the NPP?
Look into the crystal ball.
No. What happened was, I will tell it a volcanic eruption in the MPP. You'll see that everybody was clean sweep. And then, apart from Otiko Jaba, and even the warning signs were there, the close margin, telling her that they were not satisfied with her also. But they just gave her a leeway to go. I see Afoko as somebody who has a burning desire to assist the MPP, but I just think that he should be careful. The euphoria is gone, so he should now come back. He's been saying that they will win 2016, you know, giving hope, as usual, to the rank and file. They will use that same statement and judge him all. Because if they don't win, the next argument is that, look, step aside, because you gave us a promise.
The job he's voted to do.
Good. So, in that same vein, if people are canvassing for his removal because he has not been able to lead them to 2016 elections, he shouldn't come back.
We've never had a two-term chairman. You know that.
Oh, you've had Darocha?
No, Darocha was 2 terms.
Darocha, sure? Let's check that.
No, yes. I'm not
Darocha.
Sure.
Okay, but the point is that he shouldn't give false hope, because what he's doing is playing God, and it's only God who knows 2016 who will win. So he shouldn't give false hope. He's my brother. He should just be measured in the way he.
You can't say now that the NDC will win the next election.
And when I say that, when I say that, God willing.
Inshallah.
Yes.
That's what Afoko is saying.
He doesn't say that.
He says that.
No, he doesn't say that. So that's the point. The point is, you don't unnecessarily increase the expectation of your voters, right, your rank and file. And when you don't win, then you are going to court again. But again, it shows that the court that they went to was not actually the reason for which they went to court. The old executives tried to make themselves relevant. And but the delegates read through it and still send them away.
I see.
Well, the last time I checked, the decision to go to court was taken by the party's highest body, wasn't it?
Which includes the executive.
The petitioners went to
the last time I checked,
that was the National Council.
It was the National Council that said, let's proceed to court.
Yes.
So it wasn't something that was an exclusive preserve of the executive, that small group.
But is it not a contradiction where you have some of the presidential aspirants or other people suggesting that this executive just failed and it's not about being robbed?
I have a problem. I have a problem with that concept. Yes. If it's made an absolute, if you turn it into an absolute, that because you failed to win an election necessarily you failed, you must exit. If you make an absolute out of that, you have a problem. I have a problem with that theory. To be honest with you, you lose an election, you do a comprehensive interrogation of the factors that have led to your defeat. There may be a combination of factors.
There is a combination.
So that's what you do. But throwing it out there just because for electoral capital purposes that, look, you failed an election, so exit. If you are not careful, it can create a lot of problems in terms of instability relative to how a party grows. So I have a problem with those, but it's opportunistic.
Yes.
When come election, people find it convenient to use that in order to eject those incumbents. But of course, the incumbents who lost, as for Sir John, I have to be honest, I really thought the party needed to do that shake-up. And I've said that here a couple of times. I think it was good that the party decided to say goodbye to him. And of course, yes, in my candid opinion, he's my very close friend. I like him a lot. As a person, I think he's a wonderful guy. But as a general secretary, I think he had created problems in terms of image.
Oh, he's entitled to his opinion, please.
I have not insulted him. I have not scandalized him.
But the next contest has almost begun.
Well,
it looks like people are beginning to
be good. Mad. They need contest. They must have internal competition. It helps the party itself. It keeps its tradition. But I believe, bottom line, it will be a no contest. We know what I mean?
We don't know. Is it my time?
Yes. You heard me.
Something. Yes, I agree with Kweku. When you remove, say, John, and bring in someone who said there are no human beings at all, then you have done yourself more damage. And again, please.
First of all, you are distorting.
Can I make a quick why?
You are peddling the distortion.
I'm saying that if you remove someone who you think that he's not credible and brought in someone who said there are no human beings in a particular part of this country, why?
That's a distortion.
What distortion? That was what the general secretary said.
How could anybody say that?
And again, Samson, it is significant for us to look at these elections. I do know, and everybody knows, that there are divisions within the MPP. Even in Parliament, we have Nanado's faction and Alan faction. In fact, he knows. Even in Parliament, he knows. There's no question at all. He's just talking. No, I'm not talking. That is a fact. And you see, why they begin pretending that there are these divisions are non-existent, they are creating more problems for themselves. If you monitor the media within the past few days, they are on a massive attack on Alan Chimantin for expressing his legitimate and constitutional right. And they have been doing that. But you see, the statement I made, and I'll reiterate that statement here, they gave us information. They armed us to discredit people who were contesting. What was going through their minds, that information they gave us, we will use them. And we will use them at the right time. Because if I sit somewhere, even if those and then you came and get, please, I'm saying that you are presuming that those statements are not true. In fact, some of the statements, they used them against Polafoko and Co. There were other statements, information they gave us. We didn't ask for them. Now, if I sit somewhere and you give me information, you just be tickling yourself and saying it's a trick. As far as we are concerned, we will use those information as and when the time comes. But what is significant? Is that this government is focused on delivering. We are focused on fulfilling the promises we made to the people of this country. And we have no doubt in mind that it doesn't matter who is elected as the chairman or secretary of the MPP. What matters is that at the end of the 4 years, the good people of this country would have the opportunity to match the promises we made and what we have been able to deliver. And I have no doubt in mind that they will renew the mandate of His Excellency the President John That's not the subject matter. More problem within the MPP, and I can understand Kweku is torn. Whether he should, Nanado, who is his friend, and President Kufuor, who is his friend, and whether he should align himself with Nanado or this. I know. Kweku, that is the reason. No, you are in a serious challenge because you have two declarations. But you've already declared. Okay. Yeah, so what is the problem? You are an unofficial spokesperson. Thank you. There's no problem. No, but it's true. Gentlemen, you have declared. He just said something I think is unfair. What have I said? I've never declared myself an unofficial. That is my opinion. You said you expressed your opinion, and I'm expressing mine. He's declared support for Nanado. He says he's not declared himself. He has two friends. He has two friends. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. He's torn between the Guys, thank you very much. And let me tell you why I'm not reading your text messages again. You have all stopped commenting on the issues, and you're commenting about individual persons. Please. Those are not text messages I'll tolerate on this show. My guest has been Abdul Malik Kwekubaku Jr. He's editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Dr. Yao Graham was here earlier. He's an economist with the Third World Network Civil Society Organization. Dr. Anthony Akotose is former Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. He's also the one who endorsed the agreement, the bank switch deal with CEPS, which has now become an issue. He's also an MP for Old Tafo. Yes. Thank you very much. Is there a new Tafo? Yes. Okay, thank you. And then he said Murtala Muhammad is also a minister and an MP, the minister, deputy minister of media relations, information and media relations. Abraham Amaliba, as always, is a legal practitioner and is a member of the NDC legal team. I'm Samson Ladi Ayenini. Thank you very much for staying tuned.